Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our friends in the United States. It's 5 p.m. here in Italy, and we are in our prototype and new development products here in Italy, and I'm with Claudio Formaggio. Thanks everyone for being here. This afternoon we will try to walk you through some new applications of our product Modula Lift. The two applications that we will see is the climate control and dry application and the clean room application. So we will start with the climate control. So Claudio, can you tell us something about what we see here?
Yes, thank you, Max. Good afternoon to everybody. So this is the climate control application. The key factor of our project is control the temperature and the relative humidity inside a Modula lift machine with a solution completely provided by Modula. So the main issues are try to modify as less as possible the standard structure of our machine, understand and put here in the system the correct air handling system in order to have a wide range of regulation in terms of temperature and relative humidity, and understand the correct procedure to install this machine with this insulated panel integrated in the structure. So about the structure of the machine, here you can see inside this box, this insulated box, a standard Modula lift machine configured with internal bay, standard internal bay with automatic door inside. This model is the biggest, is the MLD version, but it's possible to have all the range of the Modula lift new generation, so from ME to MLD version. Here we modify the structure just adding 200 millimeters here from the standard structure, and here around 1,500 millimeters with this maintenance door. About the air handling system, we studied which could be the best solution for our application. We know that there are different possible solutions, for example, direct gas expansion, for example, but we used a solution with cold water. It's a cold water and glycol mixture provided by a chiller. With this system, we know that it's possible to have a wide range of regulation, and is very useful in a machine like that could have several configurations, a very different volume in terms of cubic meter inside. Think about a structure 4 meters or until 14 meters, different temperature set point and different external conditions. So the air handling system is, has a chiller. Here is positioned, is placed behind this machine, is externally, and provide cold water and glycol mixture. Is a standard component, and this cold water goes directly to the air handling unit that is inside the machine and is placed here, behind this door. Now we go and we enter in this machine, and I would like to explain the functioning of the air handling unit. Here there is the system with a filter in this position, cold battery. After the cold battery, there is a sort of defrost system for the cold battery. Then the post-heating system that is an optional, like such as the defrost system. and at the end the fan that push the cold air that come from here, push the air through the air duct to the machine. So here you can see two air ducts, and the airflow starts from here and goes horizontally to the other part of the machine. Okay, we can exit. Now I want to call a tray.
Claudio, while you call the tray, I can see that here the light inside the bay of the machine is green. What does it mean? Can we have, I know that we can have different kind of color, like we will see right now. Can you explain a little bit what is the meaning of the green or the white or other colors?
Yes, green color is when the machine is ready, is in automatic mode. When the tray is in the picking bay, the color becomes white in order to help the customer, the operators for the manual picking. We have also other different color, for example, yellow, orange, that is a color that defines possible alarms. For example, the temperature is not already reached. And so on, or other color, for example, blue for the installation mode. Okay, about the air handling system, we speak about the limit of our system. So the minimum temperature that is possible to reach inside this kind of machine is around 2 degrees. That is around 36 Fahrenheit. The maximum is around 25 degrees, around 77 Fahrenheit. At the beginning, I told you that it's possible to control also the relative humidity. For this kind of application, we need to add an optional that is the dehumidifier. Control the temperature of the machine is important for customer, for example, in food industries, grocery, pharmaceutical application, also electronical application. Using the dehumidifier, we can go to the customer, for example, in the electronical semiconductor application. It's very important in this application reach a very low level of relative humidity, and with our system it's possible to reach a relative humidity around 5% in a temperature that is 25 degrees, so it's very low.
Claudio, just to anticipate maybe some questions that our guests could have, I know that there is a relation between the temperature that we can reach and the minimum relative humidity that we can reach again. So can you tell us something about the correlation of these two parameters, temperature and humidity?
Okay, so if we speak about the absolute humidity, we speak about gram of steam in each kilogram of air, and is an absolute value. For example, the minimum humidity, absolute humidity that is possible to reach here is 1 gram of steam in each kilogram of air. The relative humidity obviously depends of the temperature. There is a very strict relationship, and 5% of relative humidity with a temperature of 25 degrees, more or less, is 1 gram in each kilogram of air.
So one thing that is not possible basically to reach is if I want to have a 5% of relative humidity and the temperature, I don't know, of 5 degrees, is something centigrade, is something that we cannot reach. So
Absolutely.
the two limits is 5% relative humidity and around 25 centigrades, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just to remind you, the chat are open both on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have questions, we will answer all the questions at the end of the session. So now we'll go a little bit more in deep regarding the climate control. Then we'll talk about the clean room, and at the end, all the questions will be answered. So you can go ahead, Claudio, with the...
Yes. Inside our machine, there is an electrical cabinet to control the air handling system. Inside there is a PLC connected to our electrical cabinet of the machine that is outside. Inside this machine there are several sensors, temperature and relative humidity sensor, and it's possible have a look in our Copilot of all the parameters that we set. For example, going here.
So it's a sort of supervisor which gives you all the different temperatures, humidities, all the parameters that you have inside the machine.
Yes. Using our Copilot, it's possible to set all the parameters and have a look of the temperature and relative humidity situation of the machine.
Claudio, can we quickly show how to usually pick up a product when you're using the machine, and how you can even, for example, open all the doors if you want to put inside, for example, a new tray, or if you have to extract a tray from the machine?
Okay. Here there is an insulated door that is possible to open in two ways. For example, standard manual picking is possible to do just opening this manual door, take the component and close the door.
It's important to close the door quite quickly. We have to remember.
Otherwise there is a sort of advice, that is an alarm that advises that the door is remained opened.
So because it's good that we say that we control both temperature inside the bay and inside the machine. So obviously if the temperature inside the bay is too high, for example, the machine itself prevents the tray to come in. So it's important that you pick and then you close the door in a few seconds.
Yes, absolutely. It's possible to have a set point of temperature and the relative humidity here on the bay, and the machine starts to go in the automatic mode only when this temperature is reached. And it's very useful to avoid thermal shock in the tray that are behind this door. Here, this door has also another way to be opened, and is use this one.
Let's open it. Wide open.
It's a wide open that permits us to put big object, for example, but also to remove or insert a tray inside the machine. And it's very easy to do this activity.
Good. One thing that probably we have not mentioned, or we have mentioned but it's important to remind, is that the VLM itself is a standard VLM, so all the features, all the accessories, everything is available. And on top we have the cladding and we have the other features that are relevant for the temperature control and humidity control. Claudio, it's more or less 15 minutes, so I think that we are more or less at the end of the explanation of the climate control.
Yes.
Do you have something else to add? Because
no,
otherwise we start with the clean room.
I think that that's all.
Okay, very good. So the next portion is the clean room. Our clean room machine and our clean room that we use for all the tests is in a different building. So we have recorded more or less 1 hour ago the portion which is relevant to the clean room. So now what you will see right now is a short movie of 7 minutes regarding the clean room, and after that we will be back live for the questions. Thank you for the moment, see you later.
Thank you.
Hi again. As mentioned a few seconds ago, this portion of the show is recorded because we want to explain you, describe you, and show you our clean room. And the clean room is based in a different building inside our campus. So I'm here with Claudio, and he will start describing you what is a clean room.
Okay, here you can see a clean room. A clean room, for the people that doesn't know the meaning of a clean room, is a sort of closed environment, a closed room where inside the air is filtered, is controlled. Here you can see above the air duct to push the air filtered or take the air inside the air handling system. Clean room is a room where inside we have a very small number of particles with a defined size, and this number is lower than a value that is written in the regulation. We followed in this project the European regulation, that is the ISO 14644, that identify a sort of classification from ISO 1 to ISO 9. There is a correspondence with the American regulation that where they have a sort of classification from class 1 to class 1 million. We would like to put our application in clean room ISO 7 for American regulation is around 10,000. Where the class 10,000 is a class where the maximum number of particles with a size of 0.5 micron in each cubic feet is maximum 10,000.
Very well, thank you, Claudio. So this kind of application is very popular, I would say, in specific sectors. Obviously, it's a niche market. So we are talking about electronics, semiconductor, pharma, labs, this kind of stuff. So now we would like to discover what we have installed inside our clean room. So let's have a look. Doors open. So Claudio, what can we see here?
Yes, here we have lift, Modula lift machine with some modifications. In this project we considered two main issues. First of all, the quantity of pollution or dust that is not created from our machine but from the environment and could remain on our surface. And the second issue is minimize the quantity of dust or pollution created from our machine during the movement, during its life. So now I call a tray just to show you the functioning of our machine. Okay, for the first issue we modified the carter. Here you can see the carter in stainless steel material. Very flat, very smooth, to be easy to clean. Also, all the bay is done with stainless steel material. The tray is in stainless steel with a thickness of 1 millimeter, and 1.5 millimeters, in order to have a total capacity of 500 kilograms. In order to minimize the dust or the pollution that the machine could create during the movement, we performed some modification. For example, if you know the tray of the standard lift, the trays of standard lift have plastic skate here. We replaced them with 8 rollers to minimize the friction force. The shelf panel are in stainless steel, and I would like to show you inside our machine.
So it's a little bit darker inside because obviously when the tray is in picking position we have the lights. So it will take a few seconds to see a little bit better what is inside.
Okay. Inside you can see the lift group, that is the group that take the tray and put the tray on the cell for the storage. The tray, the lift group has some modifications. For example, the sides are in stainless steel material, and you can see here only 2 rollers, but there are 4 rollers on the bracket that help the tray doing the movement from the tray to the bay and from the bay to the tray. Other modifications are on the shelvis panel in all the structure and on the belt that has not the nylon treatment. Here you can see on the lift the chain that has a lubrication that is different from a standard lubrication. This lubrication is done with siliconic oil. And about the modification, that's all. Here you can see the ME, the new entry of the lift new generation family, is the smallest, but this application is for all the series. And here you can see in this machine a maximum height of less than 3 meters, 2 meters and 8.
So which is the minimum height that we can grant for the application inside the clean rooms.
Yes.
So we decided to have a shortest unit because this is a typical problem for the application inside the clean rooms. So we start with 2.8 meters, which is a little bit different compared to the standard lift family.
Okay.
So for the rest, Claudio, I think that all the technical features and options of our standard modular lift are also available for this special application. Plus, there are all the applications and the features needed for the clean room application. So thank you. Now we go back for the live session and we can have some questions, if any. So see you later.
Okay.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Claudio. We are now going to begin answering the questions submitting during the live. As a reminder, you can still submit questions through the chat, both in LinkedIn and YouTube. So we have a few questions that we receive through YouTube and LinkedIn. The first one is there a height limit for climate control unit?
Our standard lift has a range in terms of height between 3 meters, 3.3 meters and 16 meters. The maximum height for this application is 14 meters.
Yeah, it's important, Claudio, also to mention that we also need to have some clearance on top of the units. So if you want to install, for example, a 14-meter high unit, we need 600 millimeters, 650 on top.
Yes, absolutely.
Another question from the same person: how uniform is the temperature throughout the unit?
Depend of the height of the machine. In our study, we noticed a tolerance between plus minus 2 degrees for the highest machine.
This one was one of the main, I think, challenges that we had, because obviously the volume, which is inside this unit, you can see this is a big unit, and we can have even bigger units. So it was a challenge to grant an accuracy inside such a big volume. And everything is also more challenging because obviously you do picking operations. So the volume inside is not sealed. So there are picking operations and so on. So it was a challenge. But yes, we reached an accuracy which we think is very important, plus minus 2 degrees.
We do have another question from YouTube again. What is the energy? What is the maximum time available or advised, both in seconds or minutes, for the opening of the doors for pickup or loading the goods into the bay? And I believe it's related to the climate control.
It's a very good question because, as Max told before, the accuracy of the temperature or relative humidity depend of the number of picking, depend of the time of each picking, and also the set point of accuracy that the customer wants to reach.
And also the temperature that you have in the environment.
Yes,
for example,
obviously.
here nowadays we probably have around 30 degrees with a high degree of relative humidity.
We performed an analysis here, a test, in order to reach a very low relative humidity, so 5–10% of relative humidity at 25 degrees. That is a very low value. And we noticed that opening the door each 4 or 5 minutes and each picking has a medium time of 20 seconds, we could keep this very low level of relative humidity.
So in general, Claudio, I think that we can say that there are many parameters that need to be checked. So for sure the external temperature and the external relative humidity of the environment, because this makes a huge difference. The accuracy that you want to have inside the VLM. We have performed many times tests to see where we are. So it's important that if you really need a very specific accuracy of temperature and relative humidity, we need to do some accurate analysis and,
Yes.
and give you the results. We can do it.
Absolutely.
I believe we still have a few minutes for question. Again, if you have any question, feel free to type on the chat. Next question, are this type of application available for all models or of VLM, vertical lift modules?
Not for all models, but for the Modula lift machine.
Yeah, one thing that probably we have not mentioned before is that the cladding, so the insulated panels that you see here, is self-supported by the structure of our VLMs. So and the modular lift has a structure that can grant this self-supporting method of ensuring the panels. Other VLMs or other series of our VLMs don't have the same capability.
Another question from YouTube. While opening a door for picking a part, what is the effect on the relative humidity? I believe
it's more or less the same question that we answered before. So every time you open the door, obviously there's some air, external air, which is not treated, which enters the unit or enters the bay. So both temperature and relative humidity are affected. And that's why we mentioned that we control the environment inside the bay, and we have a set point, and then we can decide what to do if the temperature or the relative humidity rises too much compared to what we need to have inside the units.
We have now a question on the tray payload for the clean room. Is it only 500 K, or can we have a higher payload per tray?
At the moment, it's 500 kilogram. We are studying to have so a different range of a payload as is possible for the standard machine. At the moment, it's 500 because we have a different support. We don't use the plastic skate, but we use a roller, so we need to pay attention on the friction force. So at the end, at the moment, it's possible with 500 kilograms.
We have another question from LinkedIn on the height of the copilot, if it's fixed or you can change the height. I believe this person wanted to know a bit more in terms of height of the copilot and the height of the operator that is using the machine.
Talking, you think about climate control or talking about clean room application? Okay. Okay.
In the
both.
question.
Okay, about the climate control, the position of copilot is this one. We studied the correct position for ergonomic condition, and is also possible to remote the co-pilot in a different place around the machine.
So the position is not really fixed. This is what we think is best. So it's probably around meter 40, something like that, but it's possible to move it.
Perfect. There's another question that I believe we already addressed. So all the lift model can be converted in a climate control unit?
The Modula lift, yes.
Yes.
If we are talking about, for example, the Modula Slim, which is another machine that we have in our automatic warehouse that we have in our portfolio, in that case, it's not possible.
He was asking for the Modula lift in
Yes,
particular.
for the Modula lift, yes.
Then another question from LinkedIn, how is the maintenance of a climate control unit?
Okay, the only the part that need to be replaced is the filter, the air filter that is at the beginning of the air handling unit.
Another question that we just got on YouTube, can we extend the face of the enclosure and have the operator enter and pick within the, so basically what is asking if it's possible to extend that part so the operator can pick within the machine?
Yes. Look, typically, yes, it's possible. Basically, you need to build a sort of cabinet, a small cabinet where the operator can enter. So, which is the benefit in this case? Obviously, the benefit is that this cabinet can be conditioned with the same temperature that you have inside the machine. So, in this case, you don't have to worry about opening the doors. So, it's possible. These are even more special applications. In some cases, customer asks to have something like that. So, possibly, theoretically possible.
Still, we are running a bit late. I'm gonna get the last question. Does Modula supply the HVAC equipment with the units?
We supply, typically we supply everything except the chiller. Why we don't supply the chiller? Because normally customers already have their preferred supplier of this kind of equipment. So they have their local support and everything. So only for the chiller, we tend to ask the customer to buy by itself. Everything else is supplied by Modula.
Good. So thank you, Max, and thank you, Claudio, and thank you everyone for attending our live events. If you have any other question that we were not able to address during the live, feel free to send us an email at marketing.modula.com. On the live chat, you can find the link to access our survey. We would appreciate to get your feedback and to improve our next events. You will also receive a follow-up email in 48 hours with the link to access the registration of this live, as well as again the link to access our survey. As always, keep following us on LinkedIn and Facebook to be updated with the upcoming events and with our Modula World. On behalf of Modula and our presenter, thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.